Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope this message finds you in good spirits and excellent health. As always, it's time to immerse ourselves in a poignant tale that will resonate with your emotions and perhaps even ignite your ire. Today's narrative revolves around a woman who made a significant sacrifice only to be met with the harshest betrayal. Envision this: for 5 long years, Zara Collins diligently toiled, night and day, to fund her husband Jordan's medical education until the big day of his graduation. Yet instead of gratitude, she received something entirely unexpected: divorce papers. His words cut deep: "I no longer want an ordinary wife." Following the split, Zara vanished without a trace. However, just 1 year later, her ex-husband, now a doctor, found himself in a state of panic as he searched frantically for her. What could have transpired? Before we unveil that part of the tale, I kindly ask you to continue your support for the Griot Stories channel. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that like button. To ensure you stay updated on our most thrilling stories, consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell. Let's do a quick roll call. I'd love to see where you all are watching from. Please drop your name, city, and the word presence in the comments. Thank you. Now, let's jump straight into our story. Imagine the scene: the grand auditorium of the Morehouse School of Medicine, filled with the thunderous applause of proud families. Among them sat one woman, Zara Collins, overwhelmed with emotion. As she dabbed at her eyes to keep the tears at bay, she tuned in to the event unfolding on stage. There stood her husband, Jordan Price, beaming as he received his medical degree, a moment 5 years in the making. Zara's heart swelled with pride, but it was tinged with exhaustion. Her hands, worn and rough, had known no beauty treatments in years. Instead, they had worked tirelessly, rising before dawn to bake pastries for local cafes and burning the midnight oil to meet office deadlines. Those hands had even soothed Jordan during his most strenuous nights of studying. She sacrificed so much: 2 jobs, the sale of family heirlooms, and her own aspirations, all for the vision of seeing her husband don the white coat of a doctor. Beside her, Jordan's mother, Helen Price, sported a smug expression as she relished in her son's success. With a designer suit and a meticulously styled hairdo, she couldn't hide her disdain for Zara, viewing her humble background as unbecoming for someone like Jordan. Yet Zara brushed off the judgment. Her love for Jordan was enough to shield her. As the ceremony concluded, Jordan approached his mother first, wrapping her in an affectionate embrace. Zara stepped forward, arms open for a hug, but he responded coolly, "Thanks. We're dining at that upscale restaurant I reserved." A flicker of hurt crossed Zara's heart, but she dismissed it. Perhaps he was just overwhelmed by the day's events. "Of course, whatever you desire," she managed to say. Little did she know the evening would lead to an unexpected confrontation that would change everything. That evening, the three sat in a lavish restaurant, the Atlanta skyline shimmering in the background. It was a place Zara had never been before, and she felt out of place amid the opulence. Jordan, now clad in a designer shirt, radiated confidence, while Helen snapped picture after picture of him for social media, relishing the moment. "Honey, all our sacrifices have finally paid off. Now we can embark on a new chapter," Zara said, attempting to foster a warm atmosphere. But instead, Helen offered a mocking laugh. "Oh, you mean your little effort, Zara. Jordan deserves only the best now that he's a doctor." Silence enveloped the table as Zara detected the sarcasm, hoping Jordan would stand up for her. Instead, he focused intently on the menu, further deepening her disappointment. After the orders were placed, Jordan cleared his throat, turning his attention back to Zara. His expression was unreadable, cold like a winter morning. "Zara, I need to discuss something important," he began, his tone serious. Zara's heart raced with anticipation and fear. "What is it, darling?" she asked, eyeing the thick envelope emerging from his leather briefcase and landing on the table. The moment felt surreal. "What is this, a new job offer?" she half joked, uncertainty creeping into her voice. This time, Helen wore a smug smile, as if she knew a secret. Jordan shook his head slowly. "No, you need to open it." With trembling hands, Zara ripped open the envelope. As her eyes scanned the words, time seemed to stand still. What she read sent shock waves through her. The envelope contained a petition for divorce. Her heart raced, and she struggled to comprehend the gravity of the situation. Jordan, this isn't funny. How could you do this today? She pleaded, confusion lacing her voice. Jordan's expression hardened, the mask of happiness peeling away to reveal a chilling truth. I mean it, Zara. This marriage is over. Why? What did I do wrong? She asked, her voice quavering as she fought back tears. The weight of 5 years of sacrifice hung over her like a dark cloud. Jordan interrupted without hesitation. 5 years was enough. I am a doctor now. I need someone who matches my new social status. You just don't fit. His words struck like daggers. Zara felt her heart drop, the betrayal reverberating through her core. Helen, licking her lips in triumph, chimed in. You should have known better, Zara. Now is the time for you to part ways before you drag him down further. As the humiliation settled over her, Zara's tears flowed freely. She was shattered by the realization of who Jordan had become, a man she had dedicated her life to for 5 years, now standing before her as a stranger. But as she gazed into Jordan's and Helen's eyes, something changed. Zara wiped her tears, determination settling in their place. With steely resolve, she uttered one word firmly, enough. That single word echoed in the upscale restaurant, silencing the chatter around them. Zara shifted her piercing gaze between Jordan and Helen, who wore looks of confusion and alarm. You think you can just belittle me and walk away? She asked, her voice steadier than she felt inside. Did you really expect I would remain passive while you trampled over me? I sacrificed so much for you, my time, my aspirations, and this is how you repay me? Her voice rose, reverberating through the room. The patrons around them paid attention, drawn into the unfolding drama. You said I wasn't on your level, Zara continued. The laughter escaping her lips was laced with a bitter edge. You're right. I will never be on the level of someone who betrays their spouse on the day of celebration, and I certainly won't lower myself to be associated with someone who has a mother willing to support that betrayal for the sake of status. As she spoke, the calm demeanor she held on to began to shatter the facade Jordan and Helen had carefully built. Zara rose from her chair, demeanor steady but radiating fury, her finger pointed at Jordan as if carving through the air. That medical degree? It's not just yours, it belongs to me as well. Jordan looked taken aback, the air thick with the tension of the moment. What are you talking about, Zara? He asked. You meant well, but this is ridiculous. Her voice escalated, echoing in the high-end restaurant. Every dollar spent on your education was earned through my sweat. Each late night I endured, every sacrifice I made for you to excel, it was all for this moment. You think you can turn your back on me now? Jordan's grip on the table tightened, his pride stung at being called out publicly. This doesn't need to be a scene, he muttered defensively, attempting to regain control. But Zara was relentless. She boldly announced, I just won't walk away and let you thrive while I languish in humiliation. I will fight back. Their eyes met in a clash of wills. Zara could feel her heart racing, fueled by rage and determination. A fire burned within her, propelling her to reclaim what was rightfully hers. I am not just going to be erased. As she played these thoughts through her mind, she felt empowered. No more silence, no more submissiveness. The applause that had once celebrated Jordan felt like an echo of betrayal now. Staring straight at Jordan and his mother, Zara laid out her intentions clear as day. I refuse to sign those divorce papers. Instead, I will seek what I am owed. Jordan leaned back in his chair, disbelief etched across his face. Owed? What nonsense are you spouting? I paid for my tuition with the money you earned. There's nothing for you to claim. His voice shook, filled with arrogance that teetered on the edge of panic. Unfazed, Zara retrieved her phone from her bag, doing so with purpose. Oh, but there is, sweetheart. I've documented every penny, every sacrifice, every single invoice for 5 years of your education, which I funded while giving up my own dreams. What are you going to do, Zara? You can't be seriously considering legal action against my son, she interjected, panic creeping into her tone. Ignoring the protests, Zara dialed a familiar number with steady fingers. Attorney Washington. Hi, it's Zara. I need to proceed with the documents we discussed. As she spoke, Jordan's confusion morphed into unease. You think a lawyer will intimidate me? Do you really believe this is going to end well for you? He spat, attempting to reclaim control. But next to him, Helen's composure was unraveling. You're making a grave mistake, Zara. I won't let you ruin my son's future, she cried in a panic. Zara continued her conversation, tuning out the noise around her. Yes, that's right. You were right about the scenario. It's unfolding just as you predicted. Yes, I want to proceed with the counterclaim for emotional distress and further damages, detailed breakdowns of living support and tuition. The tension hung thick in the air as Zara hung up the phone, a sense of calm determination washing over her. Her defiance finally seemed to register with those trapped at the table with her. You have no idea what you've unleashed, Jordan said, regaining his purpose. You're just a bitter woman trying to get back at someone who moved on. Zara chuckled, the sound cold and devoid of humor. Bitter? Hardly. I'm asserting my rights. You just said this was an investment. Well, I want my investment back. All of it. I have saved every transfer receipt, every tuition receipt, and even every utility bill I paid for the last 5 years. Turning to Jordan, who was now paralyzed, she continued, Did you think I would let you walk away freely to find a new life and a new wife on your level with a degree I bought with my blood and tears? You were dead wrong, sweetheart. Zara picked up the divorce notification that was on the table in front of Jordan and Helen. She didn't tear it up. Instead, she folded it carefully and put it in her bag. This will serve as excellent additional evidence in court. Thank you. I will not sign your divorce papers, Zara said firmly, but I will divorce you and I will make you pay for every drop of my sweat before you can proudly wear that white coat. Without another word, Zara turned, walked out of that luxurious restaurant with a steady stride, leaving Jordan and Helen frozen at the table in front of the expensive food they had ordered and hadn't even touched. That night, Zara didn't cry anymore. The burning fury had dried all her tears, leaving only steel determination. With renewed resolve, Zara left the extravagant restaurant, an air of tranquility coloring her steps despite the emotional storm she had just unleashed. The night was still young, and the vibrant city life hummed outside, a stark contrast to the turmoil she had just experienced. As she stepped onto the sidewalk, Zara pulled up her phone to contact her closest friend, Mia. You won't believe the turn of events tonight, she began, pacing slightly as the weight of her recent confrontation sank in. Mia answered with an exclamation of surprise. What happened? I thought tonight was meant to be a celebration. It was, but it quickly turned into a whole different narrative. Let's just say Jordan is going to realize he can't walk away from this. As Zara recounted the events, the conversation, the confrontation, the vows of legal retribution, she felt liberated. Each word not only conveyed her rage, but also reaffirmed her worth, chipping away at the remnants of guilt that had previously burdened her. Zara, you're a powerhouse. You finally revealed your strength, proving you are more than just the wife behind the man. You are the warrior. Mia's encouragement wrapped around her like a warm embrace. Zara's heart swelled at her friend's enthusiasm. I realize now I've been living in the shadows for too long. I've sacrificed my dreams for someone who tossed mine aside as if they were worthless. But they aren't worthless, Mia reassured her. Every sacrifice is a testament to your strength. And now you're claiming what belongs to you. You've got this. Inspired by Mia's words, Zara's resolve hardened. This was just the beginning. A mixture of anticipation and apprehension coursed through her veins at the thought of the impending legal battle. Would Jordan fight back? Would he try to silence her efforts? Little did he know the fire he had ignited. With plans to meet up with Mia soon, Zara hung up feeling invigorated and less weighed down than before. She had purposely shaped a life dedicated to supporting Jordan, and now she was going to channel all that energy into her own upward trajectory. The path ahead was unknown, but Zara found comfort in the realization that she was no longer alone in her pursuits. With newfound energy and control, she turned up the music and allowed her heartbeat to sync with the rhythm around her, feeling alive for the first time in years. The following day marked the start of a new chapter. Zara woke up to the first rays of sunlight peeking through her bedroom window, illuminating the dusty corners of the once shared nest she and Jordan had built. Yet today it felt different, liberating. Today's agenda included meeting with Attorney Washington, a sharp and ambitious lawyer she had connected with during her initial research into her options. With a mixture of excitement and anxiety coursing through her, Zara slipped into her favorite business attire, an ensemble that symbolized her emergence from the shadows. After a quick breakfast, she made her way to the law office, her heart pounding with a mix of nerves and anticipation. Each step felt empowered, filled with the knowledge that she was finally taking control of her narrative. Upon entering the office, she was met by Attorney Washington, a professional woman with sharp features and an air of confidence that put Zara at ease. "Good morning, Zara. Ready to take the next step?" Washington greeted her with a warm smile. "Absolutely," Zara replied, her resolve apparent in her tone. "I want to go through all the details and ensure I'm fully prepared for what's to come." With keen focus, Zara sat down as Washington pushed a stack of papers across the polished wooden table. "Let's go through your situation step by step," she suggested. As they dissected each document, the full weight of Zara's sacrifices became clear. Bills, receipts, and records lined up like a timeline of her dedication. She mentally recalled the late nights spent working, the dreams she had sidelined, and the emotional toll it had taken on her. "You have a strong case," Attorney Washington noted, impressed as they reviewed the details. "Your evidence demonstrates not just financial contributions, but the emotional investment you made in nurturing his education and career." Emboldened by Washington's words, Zara felt a flicker of hope. "I need him to understand that I won't just fade away. He can't erase the sacrifices I made for him. Every step he took to graduation was laced with my struggles, and I want that acknowledged." As the two women brainstormed potential strategies, interest sparked in Zara's eyes. She felt like a force rising from the ashes of her turmoil. Each idea put forth felt like a brick being laid toward a fortress of strength. Attorney Washington leaned in closer, her voice a whisper of assurance. "Remember, this is about claiming your right, not just seeking revenge. It's about demonstrating your worth and laying a foundation for your future." Zara's heart swelled with resolve. It wasn't merely about retribution, but paving a path toward her self-worth. After hours of discussion, Zara left the office feeling renewed and hopeful. She could envision her future unfolding, vibrant and full of potential. But it wouldn't be easy. The battle ahead would test her spirit. If she was to reclaim her life and establish her worth, she had to remain unyielding, and she would. With competing emotions swirling around her, Zara returned home to a place filled with bittersweet memories, a reminder of what had been, but also a grounding force for what would come next. She took a moment to breathe deeply, consciously letting go of the anger and hurt she'd harbored. As she stepped past the threshold, memories flooded back, moments of laughter shared with Jordan, trivial arguments over the silliest things, and those quiet moments when he would hold her close, whispering dreams they had for their future. Was this all a lie? Could someone who professed love and partnership betray another so easily? But today was not about dwelling in sorrow. It was about strategically moving forward. Grabbing her laptop, Zara settled at the desk to jot down her thoughts and her new goals. She needed clarity. First and foremost, she wrote, reclaim MY life. She would no longer let herself be overshadowed by Jordan's ambitions or Helen's judgment. This was Zara's time to shine and seize her own narrative. Next, she began mapping out the steps she wanted to take. Pursuing her passion for baking professionally filled her with excitement again. She had long put her dreams on the back burner while supporting someone else's journey, and now it was time to revive her own ambitions. As she sketched out ideas for a potential bakery, her vision expanded. What if she could take her passion further, creating wellness ingredients that cater to the health conscious? The idea buzzed through her mind, each ripple of thought fueling her creative fire. With a fresh sense of purpose, Her fingers danced across the keyboard, initiating a fresh document to outline her business plan. She would take her life back from the ashes of betrayal, forged into a new creation that honored her soul. Hours passed as her ideas flowed onto the screen until she caught herself smiling, a feeling that had eluded her recently. At that moment, she was not the wife betrayed. She was a woman rediscovering her power. Just as Zara felt the sense of victory rising, her phone buzzed. A text illuminated the dim light of the room. It was Mia, asking if they could meet to discuss a potential collaboration on a project. Finally, a chance to forge bonds anew and regain her sense of community. Zara quickly texted back her acceptance, thrilled at the prospect. She was ready to embrace creative ventures while navigating this turbulent time of change. The modern skyline reflected in the glass of the buildings around her, mirroring her changing fortune. Perhaps, with perseverance and courage, she could reshape her future as brightly as the night city lights above. Having come this far, Zara knew there would be challenges ahead, emotional and legal, but she was prepared to face them head on. The day of the meeting with Mia arrived, and Zara felt a surge of excitement as she dressed for their brainstorming session. She chose a vibrant outfit that resonated with her renewed spirit, feeling alive and ready to take on the world. Upon arriving at the trendy cafe, the familiar faces of friendly patrons filled the space with warmth and buzz. Zara spotted Mia eagerly waving from a cozy table by the window, and her heart lifted as she joined her friend. "Hey, there's the entrepreneur in the making," Mia exclaimed, pulling Zara into a hug. "I've been waiting to hear all about your plans." Zara smiled, feeling uplifted by Mia's energy. "I've been inspired, Mia. I'm finally ready to pursue my dream of starting a bakery. I want to focus on health-centered recipes that cater to those looking for a nutritious twist." Mia's eyes widened with enthusiasm. "That's fantastic. You know I love baking. How can I help you?" As they discussed Zara's ideas, the two friends bounced suggestions off each other, creating a tapestry of possibilities. They envisioned workshops, cooking classes, and collaboration with local farmers to bring fresh ingredients to their creations. The excitement bubbled over, igniting Zara's passion for what she once thought was lost. "This is going to be something special," Zara said, beaming with pride. "With your support, I feel like I can actually make it happen." As they mapped out a business plan, Zara felt empowered, knowing she wouldn't have to navigate this new venture alone. The shadows of her past life with Jordan began to fade as she embraced her potential and the bright future ahead. Afternoon sunlight streamed through the cafe windows, casting a warm glow around them. Zara soaked in the moment, savoring the sweet smell of freshly brewed coffee. The world outside, filled with possibilities, echoed her newfound belief that she could turn her dreams into reality. After filling pages with notes and ideas, the conversation inevitably turned toward Jordan. Mia looked at Zara thoughtfully. "Have you thought about how you'll handle things with him as your plans start unfolding?" Zara paused, reflecting. "I know I'll have to confront him sooner or later. He might try to interfere or throw obstacles my way, but I have to stand my ground. I can't let him dictate my life anymore." Mia nodded in understanding. "You've got this, Zara. Just remember you're not alone. I'm here for you every step of the way." With renewed strength, Zara smiled, grateful for the support of a true friend. It was finally time to step into her own light, to create a life filled with the dreams and ambitions she had shelved for far too long. The following week, Zara woke up to a flurry of excitement. Today was the day she would meet with Attorney Washington again to discuss the mediation options. Her heart raced as she prepared herself mentally, ready to face the challenges ahead. Dressed in a smart yet stylish outfit, Zara took a moment to center herself before heading out the door. She needed to reclaim not just her financial worth, but also her sense of identity and purpose. Upon arriving at the law office, she felt empowered as soon as she stepped through the door. Attorney Washington welcomed her warmly and directed her to sit down. "I'm glad to see you again, Zara. How have you been since our last discussion?" Zara inhaled deeply, summoning her courage. "I've been focused on my plans. I want to move forward with the mediation process, but I need to ensure I'm prepared for whatever comes next. Washington smiled approvingly. That's the spirit. Remember, this is about asserting yourself and ensuring your sacrifices are recognized. Let's review what we'll present during mediation. As they reviewed her detailed documentation and receipts, Zara noticed how organized and prepared she had become. It was empowering to put everything into perspective, a reflection of both her dedication and the hurdles she had overcome. Washington quickly shifted gears, discussing strategies for the upcoming mediation. It's crucial that we approach this with a combination of strength and flexibility. While it's important to stand your ground, being open to negotiation can also lead to a more favorable outcome for both parties. Zara nodded in agreement, her tension easing. I understand. I want to make sure my voice is heard and that I get what I deserve without unnecessarily prolonging this process. As they finalized their game plan, Zara felt a mixture of anxiety and determination swirling inside her. She was ready to stand up for herself, ready to reclaim her narrative in a situation that had once left her feeling powerless. The following day, the mediation session would take place. As she departed the office, a sense of empowerment washed over her. Tomorrow marked a significant turning point both personally and professionally, a chance to define her identity and reclaim the life she had envisioned. But deep down, Zara knew that Jordan might not go down without a fight. She prepared herself emotionally for any surprises. Focusing on her future and what lay ahead, she reminded herself of the strength she had discovered within. The day of the mediation arrived, and Zara's nerves surged as she dressed in a professional outfit that made her feel confident. Each piece embodied her new beginning. She was determined to approach the mediation with strength and poise. Walking into the mediation center, Zara spotted Jordan and his lawyer at the table, their expressions a mix of apprehension and defiance. Helen sat nearby, projecting an air of superiority, but nonetheless, Zara felt a steely resolve forming within her. As the mediator introduced themselves, Zara took a deep breath, reminding herself that this moment was about reclaiming her rightful place and asserting her worth. The mediator guided the proceedings with professionalism, aiming to foster constructive dialogue. Let's begin by addressing the terms of the divorce and what each party hopes to achieve today, the mediator proposed. Zara seized the opportunity to lay out her position clearly and assertively. I'm here to seek recognition of my contributions over the past 5 years. I want a fair settlement that reflects my sacrifices and labor in supporting Jordan's education, she stated firmly, her voice unwavering. Jordan shifted uncomfortably in his chair, glancing at his lawyer. Zara could sense the irritation brewing within him as she remained unyielding. Zara, we both know this isn't just about money. It feels unjust to continuously hold my achievements against me, he replied, his tone defensive. Without flinching, Zara responded, it absolutely is about justice, both emotional and financial. Every dollar spent was a direct reflection of my commitment and support. You can't simply erase the past because you've reached your goal. The conversation flowed back and forth, punctuated by tension, with Zara defending her stance, while Jordan attempted to downplay her contributions. She was determined to show them all that she was not someone to be overlooked. As the mediator guided the discussion, initial resistance began to crack. It became evident that Jordan was slowly starting to acknowledge Zara's sacrifices and the depth of the commitment she had made. At that moment, Zara felt a surge of energy as she reinforced her position. The reality is, Jordan, you would not be where you are today without my relentless support. It's high time that's acknowledged in a way that signifies its worth. The tension shifted, and for the first time, the words resonated. Perhaps there was still a chance to reach an understanding, a resolution that honored her contributions without compromising her dignity. Hours passed in the mediation room as Zara continued to stand her ground, presenting her case with clarity and confidence. Jordan's defenses gradually softened in the face of her unwavering commitment to seek justice. Zara had transformed disappointment into empowerment, and she was ready to embrace the outcomes, whatever form they might take. As the discussion ebbed and flowed, the mediator began to guide the conversation toward potential solutions. How about we discuss what a fair settlement could look like? The mediator suggested, directing attention to both sides. Zara drew a deep breath. I'm open to finding common ground, but it has to reflect the reality of our situation. I need compensation for the financial and emotional support I provided. I've made many sacrifices that deserve recognition. Jordan shifted uncomfortably as Helen muttered indignantly under her breath. But Zara's determination overshadowed any negativity. She did not come this far to back down. Zara, I need you to understand, Jordan interjected, desperation creeping into his voice. I never intended to disregard your contributions. It just didn't seem necessary to dwell on these things after everything. That's precisely the problem, Zara replied, frustration manifesting itself. You can't simply dismiss 5 years of my life like it means nothing. Those years were full of hard work and personal sacrifice. You must acknowledge that. Jordan fell silent, caught in the rawness of the moment. As the mediator observed the exchange, Zara felt invigorated by the recognition of her struggle. Let's take a break, the mediator finally announced, allowing everyone a moment to breathe. Zara stepped outside the conference room, needing to regain her composure. The air was tense as Zara walked down the hallway, but an underlying current of hope flowed through her. The world felt vibrant and alive. She was reclaiming her narrative step by step. In those quiet moments, she reflected on the significance of her journey. No longer just the support system behind a superstar today, she was actively shaping her own destiny. Feeling the momentum shift in her favor, Zara returned to the table more determined than ever, prepared for the next round of negotiations. As the mediation session resumed, Zara felt an electric surge of resolve coursing through her veins. She was ready to face whatever challenge lay ahead, buoyed by the conviction she had uncovered within herself. The mediator asked for each side to present their proposals, and Zara articulated her needs clearly. I believe a fair settlement should reflect both the emotional toll and the financial contributions I made over the years, she stated, her voice steady and strong. Jordan sat across from her, listening slowly. The vestiges of arrogance that had once defined him seemed to dissipate in the gravity of the situation. Zara continued, each late night I spent working, each sacrifice I made, every moment I chose to support your dreams, all contributed to you reaching this point. I won't allow those sacrifices to be written off as inconsequential. Jordan finally spoke. Zara, I understand now how deeply this affects you. I never meant to ignore everything you went through. Proposing a settlement feels just, but I hope we can find a way to move forward that acknowledges our shared history. That moment felt monumental as Jordan showed a glimmer of understanding. The potential for reconciliation simmered, creating an opening for healing. If we can agree on a structured settlement that includes ongoing recognition of our partnership, I think we could reach an understanding. I'd like to honor the role that you played in my success, Jordan offered cautiously. Zara felt her heart swell with a mix of cautious optimism. That would mean a lot to me, she admitted, her eyes softening as she struggled to convey the weight of her journey over the years. I think we can draft something that honors both your contributions and Jordan's future endeavors, the mediator interjected, taking notes. As the proposal took shape, Zara felt a renewed sense of strength. This was a chance for mutual respect, an opportunity not just for closure, but for recognizing the complexities of their shared journey. As the mediation progressed, Zara felt herself transform a relentless fight into an opportunity for collaboration. With each agreement drafted, she wasn't just reclaiming her worth, she was also redefining her narrative. Jordan and Zara addressed the specifics of financial compensation and how they would structure the settlement. They discussed potential investment opportunities for Zara to kickstart her bakery while ensuring terms were beneficial for them both. This is more than just about finances. It's also about acknowledging our history, Zara stated firmly. I'm ready to turn the page on this chapter, but I needed to recognize my journey as a valid part of our story. Jordan nodded, indicating that he was coming to terms with the understanding of Zara's perspective. The tension that once enveloped their interactions began to lift, creating a sense of possibility in the air. As the mediator carefully laid out the terms of the agreement, Zara could feel her heart drumming with anticipation. Their discussions had blossomed into a negotiation that honored her contributions while respecting Jordan's new path. Once the main points were agreed upon, the mediator asked if both parties felt comfortable moving forward. It seems like we have a solid foundation built on clear communication and mutual respect, he noted. Zara felt a wave of gratitude wash over her as she looked at Jordan and Helen. I appreciate this understanding. It means a lot to me, and it allows me to finally step into my own future with confidence. As they signed the agreement, Zara felt a sense of closure. This was the climax of her journey, reclaiming her identity, recognizing her sacrifices, and finally embracing the life she deserved to live. Walking out of the mediation center, Zara felt the weight of uncertainty lift from her shoulders. No longer bound by the constraints of her past, she stepped into the daylight filled with a renewed sense of purpose. With the legal matters finally resolved, her mind buzzed with possibilities for her bakery. The future loomed bright ahead, sparkling with hope and promise. She had emerged from the shadows of her previous life, ready to embrace her destiny. As she exited, her phone buzzed with a new message from Mia, prompting a wide smile to spread across her face. Let's celebrate your victory. Dinner tonight? Excitement swelled in her chest. How fitting that she could finally mark this significant moment with her friend by her side, celebrating not just a new beginning, but the triumph of standing up for herself. Arriving at the restaurant where they planned to meet, Zara felt a wave of exhilaration rush through her. This was a chance to share her story, catch up, and discuss the plans for her bakery venture. The narrative was shifting. Mia greeted her with open arms, and the energy between them was electric. Tell me everything. I want to hear about how it went. Zara launched into her tale of the mediation, the highs, the lows, the moments of clarity. As she recounted her journey, it became clear that it was not just about reclaiming lost time, it was about laying the foundation for something remarkable. As the evening continued, Zara felt a sense of joy bubbling within her. She had fought hard for this moment, her moment, and with each laugh shared and each dream discussed over dinner, she realized this chapter was just the beginning. No longer defined by her past, Zara Collins was ready to forge ahead, baking her way to a future filled with dreams realized and potential unleashed. Did you like the story? Which city are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If you enjoyed the story, you can support me by sending a super thanks so I can keep creating more stories like this. Thank you so much for your sweet support. There's a lot more waiting for you on my channel. Tales by Aunt Emery. Don't forget to subscribe.